So I have been entrepreneurial since I was 5. We didn't
Wow.
have money, and so I needed money to get a book. So I had a garage sale because I'd seen someone in my neighborhood do that. And long story short, was very successful and made the money, but my mom didn't like that I sold a lot of our stuff.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million in sales? And today we are connecting from London to Canada, and we have Jannette as a guest. Jannette, can you please introduce yourself and say the name of your company, please?
Hello, Harry, and hello, everybody. My name is Jannette Anderson, and as Harry said, I'm currently in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. My company is the Maturepreneur World, and we are serving those who are 55 plus and hashtag not done by a long shot.
Wow, I love this tagline. And yeah, because it's never too late to start a business, so it's never too late to make a big improvements in your business. So tell us a little bit more about that. Why you decide to help this type of particular niche at the moment?
All right. Well, there's about 3 questions there. So I'm going to answer the first one. So I have been entrepreneurial since I was 5. We didn't have money, and so I needed money to get a book. So I had a garage sale because I'd seen someone in my neighborhood do that. And long story short, was very successful and made the money, but my mom didn't like that I sold a lot of our stuff because she wasn't there at the time. And so I got spanked and she took my money and I didn't get the book for a while. So many people would say that was not a very good first venture, but what I learned was 3 very important lessons. One is we can take our destiny into our own hands as entrepreneurs, because I had a problem, I found a solution. And if I hadn't had an intervention in the form of a partner / mother, I would have been able to get what I wanted, which was that book, Heidi. Second thing I learned is don't go into business with family. Kind of sort of kidding, but not really. Third thing is that we really can create what we want to have in the world by using business as a vehicle for both contributing and creating. And so ever since I've been 5, I've been passionate about entrepreneurship. I've had numerous businesses since then. I've helped hundreds of people launch their business as a business coach and trainer and consultants and so forth for the past over 40 years.
Wow.
And I'm still stupidly in love with what I do, except now I do it from beaches or nice warm places in the winter because I'm allergic to winter, so I run away. But I love what I do. But as we change and grow, Harry, then so does our demographic. And so what I started to notice, I was on something called the Marketers Cruise in 2020. And I was networking up at Pizza and Profits, it's called. And someone asked me, what do you do? And I was mid-sentence answering him, and he turned and started talking to someone else. I was like, oh, well, what a dick. So I excused myself and went to the next group, and the same thing happened again. Now, I'm not used to being ignored. I have polka dot glasses and blue hair, and I'm fairly, visible.
Jannette, in your opinion, right? What are the 5 steps that entrepreneurs out there should be doing to achieve the first million?
All right. Well, I generally think that most people are too busy trying to build their profit plane, a really fast way to they're looking for silver bullets or ways to take off and make $1 million in a weekend. And there's lots of gurus on the top of the mountain that will sell you that kind of solution. Oh, run your 3-day event and then you'll make $1 million.
Easy, yeah.
Write your first book in a weekend and make $1 million. First of all of that is BS. That's just not true. I've been behind the curtain on a lot of these kinds of businesses and these gurus and these offers. It's not the truth of it. So they might make $1 million, for example, but they spend 1.2 to make that million, or they're robbing Peter to pay Paul, or they're barely making ends meet, etc. So what I have really discovered is that most people don't have what I call a revenue runway, a consistent, reliable way to make money And you need that before you build your profit plane. Otherwise, your plane has no way to take off and no place to land. And
no
so
foundation, right?
yeah. So you need a revenue runway. The revenue runway has 5 things that you need to have in place fundamentally. I call it the 3 whys, a what and a how. Okay. The first why is you got to know why you're doing what you're doing. People don't buy what you do or what you have. They buy why you do it now. And so if you're not clear on your purpose, first of all, you're not going to get out of bed motivated and inspired for the next 20 years. Secondly, people want to connect with you based on that why. You sell something that millions of other people literally around the world sell. So how do you differentiate yourself? The only thing unique to you is your why. So differentiate using that. So you got to know what your why is. I'm called the why whisperer because I can help people figure that out. And by the way, your why is not what you do. It's not how you express that. That's your stand. We have different ways of living into our why over our life, but our why is consistent. I call it the intersection between what we're healing from our past and what we long for our future, for ourselves and others. When we know what that is, then we can really use it to make decisions. We can use it to differentiate ourselves. We can use it to get us out of bed in the morning. We can use it in so many practical ways. So number 1, you got to know your why. Number 2, you got to be able to answer why you. Why should I pick you versus all the other business coaches? Why should I pick you versus all of the other fill in the blank, shamanic coaches, whatever it is? And your why really requires you to claim and own the value you provide. When I come back to that comment about most people fail because they can't market and sell, it's because they don't really own the value that they provide, not their intrinsic value as a human being. It's not why are you valuable. It's what is the value you provide and how do you articulate that in a way that they get it. And so if you can't answer the why you, they're not going to buy you. It's that simple. And the why you is not really about you. It's about what you do for me. So it's about them. And then the third thing is why your product or service. Why do I need it? And I guarantee you 95% of the entrepreneurs that I look at their website or their marketing or listen to their sales conversations, they are talking features, 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 the what of it or the how of it. They don't talk about the benefits, the what's in it for you. So why should I buy what you have is you getting clear on the benefits of what you do. Again, no one cares what you do or even how you do it. So for the love of God, stop answering the question, what do you do with, I'm a coach or I'm an author, or I'm a this or I'm a that. No one cares. It doesn't tell them anything in terms of what it does for them. Tell them the problem you solve and the benefits of solving it. That's what they really want to know. So your 3 whys, why do they need what you have? In other words, what's in it for them? And so what the heck do you sell? How do you package it? How do you price it? How do you position it? How do you create a solution that solves the problem that you uniquely want to solve, takes them on that customer journey up the mountain, and shows them the view from the top of the mountain that you can really clearly articulate? If you don't know how to say what the problem is you solve, I ask people all the time, what's the problem you solve? And they go on and on and on about how they do what they do. Doesn't tell me what problem they solve. Tells me about the process, right? And so don't, if you're a surgeon, I don't want to hear about what number of scalpel you use. I want to know that you're going to fix my leg and it'll be fine after the surgery, right? So what do you do and how do you package that? How do you price it? And what is the journey you're taking people on from problem to promise? How do you articulate that? If that's not clear, you're not going to sell anything. And the 5th one is how. How do you deliver what you deliver in a way that's true to you? One of the biggest reasons entrepreneurs stall is because they're trying to do something someone told them that isn't authentic or appropriate for them. It's not their style. They're trying to be a speaker and they're not, or they're trying to do social media and they hate doing video. They're trying to fit their round peg into somebody's square hole, or they're doing the right thing, but at the wrong stage of business. So many people are selling those leveraging strategies that work at the top of the mountain, but they don't work for the people who are coming up the mountain. And so they sell these great big leveraging strategies to people who don't have an infrastructure, a team, the know-how, the context, and so they don't get ROI and they think it's their fault. It's not. It's just the wrong solution at the wrong time. So the how is really making sure you're using the right solutions for you, or the right approaches, the right tactics at the right stage of business. Most people are stalled because they're trying to do things that are ahead of where they're actually at. So if they slow their roll, they speed up their results. Now, most people listening to this are going to say, oh yeah, I got that taken care of. I can, after 40 years, pretty much guarantee you, if you're listening, at least 80% of you do not have that clear. And if you want to improve your results, if you want to serve more people, if you want to have more income, that foundation, that revenue runway probably needs to be revisited. When you've got the whys, the what and the how clear, then you're going to be able to move forward and really make a good living and a really significant contribution. So I know that was a lot.
So yeah, we use this analogy a lot with all the business that they ask us. We always tell them, look, and I learned this for a fellow speaker friend of mine long time ago. When one day in one conference we were speaking in Vegas, right? And he told me, Harry, remember always, people don't buy the drill, they buy the hole, right? And we have entrepreneurs, everybody talking about the drill, about the tool, about the thing, and nobody focusing the outcome in the end result, what the product and services does for that client, what problem you solve and what will be the outcome, right? And all the communication in the website, in the sales, in the LinkedIn, everywhere they have, all the communication should be focused in that end result, right? In what they can provide. And yeah, it sounds easy, but you will be, well, in your long career, you will see again and again that we say this, and then when we review again, it's the same issue. Is that it takes time for them to process what really is. I think what really, one thing is, because I get it, they're passionate about the product that they develop and they love to talk about that, but the buyer doesn't care about this. The buyer only it doesn't care about your product, doesn't care about who you are, only cares about the problem you can solve for them. And this is right here that articulate it becomes a challenge. So what is the biggest setback, Jannette, that you have in business, and how you overcome that challenge?
Oh, well, 40 years of business, there's been a lot of them.
You have to choose your favorite.
Well, you know what? One of the things, I'm actually going to use an example from when I was employed, because it really bled into when I was went back and started my business. I was with a large corp company. It was one of the few times I had lost my mind and forgotten and gone back into corporate. And usually that happened 4 times, and usually it was for about 2 to 2.5 years. And then I go, oh, I remember why I hate this, politics and bureaucracy. And go start my business.
Remember what I hate this.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was permanently cured in 2001. That's when this happened. I was working for a large corporation. I made the largest sale in the company's history, $1.2 million. It took me a year to put together. It spanned multiple departments in the company. It was the biggest deal that they'd ever had. Wow. And phase 2 was 1.4 million. And I knew this company didn't have a lot of integrity. And they, rather than pay me the commission that they owed me, the $120,000 of commission and $20,000 worth of expenses, they fired me. And so that they wouldn't have to pay me that money, because they were having a rough quarter and they didn't want that hit to their books. And they had a history of doing this. Now, what ended up—
huge mistake. Wow.
Yeah, huge, because they also, the $1.4 million deal that I had, they let go of me. And so that deal went away. So it was stupid on their part, but that's typically how they were thinking, is they cut costs by firing people and forcing those people to sue them.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.